Yo, what's good? Roy here, and today I'm going to show you. This is the third video on this series, how to get this Gucci Mane style of cover art, in any artist you want. So this style of cover art, this is the third video on it I'm making. So basically I have everything that I want to talk about written down. So basically the first thing I'm going to talk about is the song title. There's a certain effect that you'll see on the screen. So I'll show you how to achieve that. And then the second thing is I'll talk about the adjustment layers, the highlights and shadows. So if you've been watching the video, you know for the highlights I use a levels layer with the value set at 2.10 to 116. So from the center it's 2.10, and at the far right it's 116, and for the shadow it's 0.47 in the middle, and at the far right end it's just the normal 255. So I'm talking about it here so that when we get to the video it will be easy for you to understand. And then the other thing is, so that's the shadows. For the shadows, so that's basically like you're doing a dodge and burn. But so with this, our subject was at this, where he was, like where the photo is, the light source is it's coming from the center, like at the top of his forehead. So it was so easy to do the dodge and burn, and it was so easy for me to know what I really wanted. So where I wanted the light source to be. So we are going to, I'm going to show you that, and then basically talk about the whole composition of the image. So where I get my assets from, I talked about it in the previous video. Mixtapes.psd, mixtapespsd.com. You can just watch the previous video. I just released the source over there. I said a lot of stuff that has been kept for the longest time. I'm here to keep everything. I'm keeping everything. Maybe I'm lying, but I'm just going to show you everything I know. Like maybe I'll keep something, but and then finally after the composition, it's just the post-processing of the whole cover art. So that includes using Camera Raw and Magic Bullet. So that's basically what this video is about. This is the third series. I have like 2 more videos to make. If you wanna ask anything, I'm there. Just reply on the comment section. And to the guy who asked for the PSD, bro, I wanna keep that shit, bro. But nah, I'll send it to you. Just hit me up on Insta. I'll send you the link, bro. I'm not lying. I'm dead as serious, bro. I'll send you the link. I promise you. And I'll try to make this video as short as possible and comprehensive to you as much as possible. Thank you. So here, what I want you to look at is the song title. So how do we achieve this? How do we get something like this? So the font I used is this Beba Sky or Beba's New. I think it's Beba's New. So I use this. So I'll just show you real quick how to get that effect. So you'll start off with typing out, of course, whatever you want. So it can be song name, just any size. You can use any size. So let me first get this to regular, and then 0. So let me play with its size. Let me get it to be large or some, like this is too small. So something like that. So here it will take a minute, but you'll have to type out everything one by one. So Command J to copy that, transform it, and then you rotate it a little bit, so every letter will be in a different direction, sort of. So this is supposed to be song name. So I'll just copy everything out for the placement, just to place them properly. So this will go the other way around. So yeah, get here, it will be O, here it will be N, here it will be G. So it's already coming up. So I'll press shift and press this S layer, and then press command J to group, and then duplicate it, and then command T to transform. And I'll do the same for this other letter, for the name part, so song name. So I'll just hold on. Here, right. So I'm doing this to reduce time. If I had time, of course, I'd be so careful with what I'm typing out, like the direction of each letter, but this is what I'm doing because of time. So as soon as you have this, you can just group them all together again. Press command J to have a backup, of course. Backup. Yeah, turn it off. Then press command E to rasterize this. Now that you have this, you can go to this image, and then I'll just pick this color up. So yeah, and then I press command on my keyboard and press this middle part of the layer, so it will make a selection. So yeah, and then I want to brush over the whole thing. So let's pick a soft brush. Okay, yeah, let's pick a soft brush, and then go to the color picker. So for this color, I need it to be darker. So at first we'll start with it being darker, of course. So something like this, yeah, it should be okay. And then I brush over it. And then I brush over it. And then I press command J. So the second step is I'll repeat the hold command and then press on this layer stuff. And then I go here again. Bro. Oh yeah, and then I go here again. I'll pick a brighter version of this color. So something like this here. And then I lower the brush size and the flow. And then, yeah, oops. And then I brush it over again. So yeah, something like that. And then I press command J. So if you peep closely, you already know where this is leading. The center is supposed to be the brightest. Yeah, something like this. So I'll do the same thing. Press command, press on that layer. And then now I'll pick white, something closer to white. Yeah, something like that. And then lower the brush size. Yeah, and then I brush over it. Bro. And then I brush over it. So yeah, something like that. So then I'll press command J, and then I'll add a little bit of glow to it. So I'll just sample this color again, and then go and move this across here, and then I brush over it again, the center. I brush over the center again, and then I set the blending mode to linear dodge. So you see how it looks. It adds some more glow. So I'll group this all together, hold shift and press this, command G for the grouping, and then I'll paste my layer style. So this if you check closely, it has some bit of beveling and 3D-ish look. So those settings, I'm not trying to go over them because of time. So I'll just paste the settings on this. Oh my god, what is this? Oh my goodness, bro. Oh my goodness, what is this, bro? So yeah, I had to cut that out, bro. I overreacted. So the main mistake was I did not clip this to, yeah. So if I unclip it, let me release it. You see how it looks? It looks ugly as hell. So yeah, I just realized I had to clip this. So this is what you get. This is what you get. So this is what you get. So for that you are done. It's not really alike, looking the same, but that's what you get. So yeah, now we can start off. We can really start off. For the background, this was the original image. This was the original image. This whole image. So I didn't like the blue and the yellow, so I played with the hue and saturation layer for that. So let me show you. Let me switch this off first. So this is what we had, and then I had to remove the name of the store. So I had to remove it, bro. I had to. It was looking ugly, and I was avoiding copyright. Maybe there can be a possible form of copyright, but yeah. So to remove this, yeah, I used the healing brush tool, spot healing, and patch tool. I won't get into the nitty-gritties, but spot healing brush really helped me remove this and Napa. And then I used for the auto track and parts, I used this patch tool. So it was like something like this. Let me show you. Let me show you. Oh my god, this is taking so long just to duplicate a layer. Oh my god, bro. I guess. Yeah. So, and then I rasterize it. So to remove this, to remove all this, so I was going step by step. I was doing something like this. Nah, wait, hold on. I did something like this. Yeah. And then now I was fixing it up with the spot healing and healing brush tool. I did that throughout. I can't remember the exact way I did it because I did this cover like in November, a very long time ago. So I'm sorry, bro, I can't remember, but these are the tools I used: spot healing and patch and healing, of course. So yeah, that's what I used. So I'll just switch this off and show you guys how it looked. So I hated the blue, so I added a hue saturation layer and then curves, of course, to darken it a little bit, and then I added a levels layer in the property. I think it is at 0.46 here, 0.46255, and then I command inverted the mask. So I inverted the mask and started brushing over the parts so I wanted them to be darker, so it's simulating like a real shadow. So yeah, and then I was done. So for the ground, I had the ground. Let me show you. Yeah, this is the layer. So this is the layer for the ground. Did some curves on it, and then I added some shadows. So I won't show you these shadows right now because if I show you, they won't make sense until I start adding the objects, like our elements of the image. So yeah, now for the sky, this is the sky. Yeah, I just used a solid color layer, and got the color code for sky blue, and then I used some cloud brushes and added the clouds, and then I added a tree silhouette and some bird silhouette using a brush. So let me show you the brush. It's Carl's brush, Calsoscoped. So I just use his concept art brush. So this is the brush. This is the brush pack. So pretty much easy. It was like so easy using this. So here I can say I did not do anything extra or anything. Yeah. So if you have the brush, you can set the foreground to black and then yeah, brush it over. You see how it looks like. So yeah, this is what I did basically, but now with that specific brush, and I was done. So yeah, after that I added some wire pull at the back, and then palm trees, and then a chopper. Yeah, I don't think I missed anything else. I do not think I missed anything else. And then the store name. So for the store name, of course it was a typed out letter initially, life serves death, and then to get it into this angle, I used the distort tool. So I placed it into that angle, or you can use the perspective wrap, whatever you want. And then now for the jagged edges of this, I used a displacement map. So I don't know if I can show you guys how to do that. Let me show you. So I'll just type out anything. Yeah, so because if you want it to look more realistic, a little realistic, I think the jagged edges really do that work perfectly. So how do you get that? You'll go to filter, distort, displace, rasterize. Yeah, you can use any value here, but yeah, I like 1010. And then I went to my displacement pack. The name is psycho displacement kit. So I used this. Yeah, so that's what it does. So I think I used one or three. I don't know, one or three. No, it's not this. So you see what it does. So I don't think I'll go over every PSD to get the right one, but basically this is what it does. So yeah, so I used the displacement map on it, and I was done with that. I was freaking done with that. Yeah, so we can start with the elements of the image. So I'll start with the G-Wagon. So here, of course it had a rim light, but this is for later. So what are rim lights? Rim lights are the light you see at the edges of objects. So they are usually not natural. You can't see them naturally in real life, but it just adds a cartoonish, realistic effect. Cartoonish, but at the same time realistic. So yeah, and nobody should say I'm doing 6-7. So yeah. So this is the rim light. This is the before and then the after. So yeah, and then I added curves layer and levels to it. Curves. So and then I painted highlights. So I used the 210, I think 204. Yeah, I think I did 210, 204. And then I painted highlights. Why did I paint only this side? Because the sun is coming from the center. Yeah, it's coming from the center. So and then for this other region where the sun does not reach, the rays do not reach, I just painted shadows with these values. So yeah, and then for intense shadows, this is what I use. So for these intense shadows, they make everything completely black. So yeah, you can use a color fill or curves adjustment, and then I added the rim light. For the girl, yeah, the way she looks right now, it would make sense. So the beauty of Photoshop is you can hide everything. So here I added a range to hide her. See, voila. So yeah. Oh, and I added some shadows for the building. So yeah, I assumed this red part, it extruded in real life. If you're in the store, it extruded to act like some shade for people who will be standing outside the store. So I added a shadow for that. So I added this girl, this lady. So here dodge and burn still, but of course, and a rim light, but this rim light is so subtle. And is it really there? Oh yeah, bro, I see it, but I don't know why I can't. I don't know, bro. My Photoshop is tripping. Oh wait, I'm tripping. Yeah, so this is the rim light. So yeah, so here just adjustments, same adjustments for levels. So I added the curves to define the shadows and the highlights, and then after that, shadow for the clothes, highlights for her skin. They are usually around the same values, 210, 116 for the shadow, 0.46255. I'll keep on saying this because this is my method. So for the intense shadows, yeah, the curve structure is the same. And then yeah, I brushed over her bottom. So like I used a soft brush, yeah, and did that shit. Yeah, so something, I don't know why it's not popping. Oh, yeah, so something like that. And then yeah, the same thing repeated but added blend if. So for the blend if, these are the values. And then I think I did the same thing again. Now this is the rim light. Oops, my fault. So and I was done with that. And then I added fog, so to make everything atmospheric, but I added this way later, not even now. So next element was the box, military box. The way it is right now, it doesn't make sense, but it looks out of place, not properly blended, but it will come all together in due time as I go through the other layers. So for the adjustments, the same, bruh. Curves, highlights the same, shadows the same. So yeah, basically the same method. Then I added a pot of gold bars. Same method, bro, same method. But for this I only used an adjustment layer. I did not use levels. So this is the before. This is the before. How it looks very plain, and then this is the after to define the highlights and shadows that are there, or midtones. And then I added a bag of dope. So here it is. So if you peep, this side is dark compared to this side because the light source is coming from this center. So I just used the same method, bruh, for the levels, for the highlights, because of course I painted some fake highlights here. I brightened this part. So let me show you. Here it is, 210 116. But before that I had some, yeah, I also used curves again, 210 116 for the shadows, 0.46, and then for the crude shadow, which you can use a solid color layer still if you want. Let me show you. So I'll just press Command I and I'll start brushing over, but I'll lower the flow so that it doesn't seem so obvious. So I'll start brushing over. So yeah, something like this. You'll still achieve the same effect for the crude shadow if you want. So that's what I did. I'll skip over this layer So I'll just I'll just show you the other elements. I had a rim, barrel. Yeah, I'll explain the subtle glow you see over here and here. I'll explain it. It's also here. And then lean cap, the shadow for it, money stack. And for this all, I used the same method, bro. This image was so, how do I put it? It was at the mid, like I did not need the average blending mode, the fake harmonize. So yeah, so the method with the highlights and the shadows, it's the same basically. It's just the same, nothing else. Like I only have rim lights. So here I only have rim lights, bro. If you see, if I hope you see, yeah. So these are the rim lights. So yeah, but for the adjustments, it's the same. 210, 2.10, 0.46, same curvature for the curve. Yeah, basically every asset. That's what I did. And then I added a barbed wire. Yeah, barbed wire with its shadow. So, and then lean cap shadow. So of course the light is coming from this side, but I wanted the lean cap itself to also have its shadow on the money stack. So here it is. So yeah, if you check my previous video, you'll see how to get a shadow of an object and to place it in a perfect perspective or angle to your image. It's on the previous video, so yeah, be sure to check that out if you haven't. And then now we can go to the main subject, to our subject. So yeah, let me show you. So this is our main subject, bro. This is our main subject. So I won't show you the adjustments first, because we need some real lights. Yeah, we need some lighting from these cars, so some glow. So for this, you can add, I added lens flare. So there's a brush for this, very specific brush. So I think I'll show you guys. It's at the concept. Yeah, this is it. It's at the concept park. So yeah, I was just adding it. So adding it and like really brushing on it. So this is what I was doing basically. So that's the lens flares, and then lens flare for the Range Rover, same thing. So you want these lights in front of the subject, not behind. If they are behind, they won't look realistic. So let me show you. For the lens, if I put it behind the subject layer, it doesn't look like it's even there, because in real life, when someone is walking towards you and there is light behind them, that light usually bleeds out to their bodies. So never forget to put the light in front of the subject. And then I added some glow on the body for the range and the G-Wagon. I'll justify it later. I'll justify it in a few. And then I added car lights. So here you really need to, you just use a normal brush. But set the blending mode at screen. And then yeah, I initially went with yellow color. My brush was yellow, but I did not like the way it looked. It looked unnatural. So because the headlights for these cars, they are white, they are not any other color. So yeah, I had to change it up. I had to switch it up to white. So yeah, color overlay. Yeah, and then I added some more light. Same thing, set the blend mode to screen. Yeah, same thing. And then some lens flare for the gold bar. I do not know why it's not popping up. And then I added some glow to the gold bar using a soft brush, just setting the blending mode to screen. And the foreground was white. No, it was yellow.
it was yellow because the if you peep closely, like the midtones and the highlights, they are kind of yellow, bro. So yeah, and then I added, yeah. So these are the rays. I added some rays using some brush. So if you check closely, you'll see the rays. I think you just need a brush with these rays. I do not know which brush exactly I used, but and I'm not gatekeeping anything, bro. I'm just being honest. So yeah. hmm Now we can go to our subject. Our subject. So same method to accentuate the shadows, to accentuate the highlights, which is the skin, and darken the shadows. I used the same thing, and I've just realized I made a mistake on this. I should have erased this, but it is what it is, bro. As long as they cannot notice it, I'm cool. I'm cool with that. So yeah, so that's the rim light, anyways. So that's the rim light. So if you peep closely, you'll see them. Yeah, and please, I'm crying out for help. I need a good rim light method. I don't have a graphic tablet, bruh. Someone show me how to do rim lights properly. Please, bro. Please, 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 please. So for the shadows, for the adjustments, I just did the same adjustments. Curves, of course, to properly define the like highlights and shadows, and then I made adjustment layers for the. Okay, I'm talking too fast. I made a brightness and contrast layer, and then I used these values. So yeah, I used these values just to darken a little bit the sweater. Yeah, don't ask me why, because I don't remember me doing that. But for the highlights now, to dodge and burn, basically it's the same method, bro. It's the same method. 210116, then 0.46255. So yeah, if I switch all this off, let me show you. Yeah, you see how it's looking. It's looking meh. But with this on, with all this on, yeah, that's what you get, bro. That's what you get. Yeah, that's what you get. It looks nice. And then now I added the shadows I was talking about. So yeah, here they are. Yeah, and I was pretty much done with that part. So I'll keep on saying I'm using this method to get to paint shadows and highlights. I'll just use the levels. For the highlights, I'll use 2.10, 116, and then for the shadows, I'll use 0.47255. So that's pretty much my method with that. But as I practice more, I know I'm getting better. So I'll find a new method, because before that I was using something different, which I don't even remember. I was using a different technique. So I added vignette, fog, and sun rays. Yeah, so these sun rays, I erased the whole thing, and then I just copied it to this other side. So the whole thing did not look like this. Yeah, the whole thing did not look like that, bruh. Then I added some lens flare. I mean, not the actual lens flare. So the whole thing, the whole rays, these two rays, they came from this. The only difference is I made a copy of this, and then I erased the this part only to get these. So now the image is coming all together, and then I add some more rays. Of course, the blending mode is at screen. Of course, I'm using the masks to brush the rays softly onto the image. And then yeah, so I added some glow on the palm trees. and and the chopped and the chopper, bruh. The chopper. Yeah. And I was pretty much done with the composition. Now for the post processing, I used Camera Raw. Yeah, I used Camera Raw. Yeah, and photo look. So this is how it looks like. So that's the before and this is the after. I did not have the Life Serves Death at the back at the front store. If you check closely. Yeah, because I have the OG, I have the final image here, which has that letter, which has this, but I won't show you because it's a mixtape which he hasn't dropped yet. So it's kind of an NDA. It will be like I'm leaking source. So yeah, I'll just shut up, bruh. I won't tell you anything. If he ever drops the mixtape, you'll see the song name, the mixtape name. But before that, it's just yeah. So I'll just show you the settings I used for Camera Raw, and we'll be done. And on top of all of this, don't forget a noise layer. Yeah, I do. I usually rock the noise layer every time for every cover art for me. So yeah. So for the color, I'll just show you. I'm just going through the settings I was using. Yeah, for the Camera Raw, this is the only thing I did, nothing else. And then for the photo looks for the MBL, yeah. So let me show you. Yeah, so for the MBL, this is what I used, curves. So I'll just go through them. Diffusion for the glow, and then edge softness. So this will blur out the edges of the image, so it will give the image a more center focus. And then I used colorista, of course. Yeah, so these are the settings. These are the how I dragged everything. So I wanted my highlights to be more yellow, midtones greenish, and the shadows to be blue. If you know oh my goodness, if you know color theory, orange corresponds with blue. So yeah, that's what I was going for. Yeah, and I was done. I was really done. And then I added my tag at the bottom. And then noise, and voila, I was done, bro. So it's been a pleasure. If you have any question, ask me and I'll answer it on the next video, or the comment section, or on my Insta. Just hit me up, bro. Hit me up if you need a cover art. Please hit my line, bro. Please hit my line. I need to work with artists. I'm looking for artists to lock in with heavily. So if you know you are an artist and you need art for your music, hit me up, please. Let's lock in. It will be a pleasure working with you. I just want to work with more people and come ready, bro. Nothing is free, bro. So yeah, we are grinding out here, and I'm learning all this, bro. Like, to give the best to every artist I'm working with, for them to have the best visual. So I think I'll do the next one will be either a Malik style. So for the Malik style, it will be abstract art. Yeah, so abstract mixed media art. Let me show you. So it will be, I think, Malik style or a Gucci Mane style, or yeah, I think I'll do a Gucci Mane. So, but I'll go with this. Yeah, let me show you. I'll show you how I did this. So many layers over here. Yeah, so I'll show you how I did this and how Malik does this. Yeah, if you've seen Malik's work, he's the goat, bro. So yeah, when I started out designing, I took so much inspiration from him. Yeah, his work is literally eye candy. If you look at his work, it's eye candy. So I'll show you how to make this. Yeah, something like this. This is all inspired by his work. So this is abstract work. So yeah, I'll show you how to do that. Yeah, till next time. Take care. Peace.